So our next guest combines excellence on the field and in the classroom. Graduate from the University of Utah with a bachelor's degree and a standout professional football player for the Utah Falcons. A leader in the WNFC. Please welcome Bergen Meyers.
Hey y'all,
Hello.
How
Did I
you
pronounce your
doing?
name correctly?
Doing
it's Bergenmeyer.
Bergen
Bergen.
Meyer. Okay.
Bergen. Bergen
Welcome
Michael
to the
Myers. I'm
show.
about to call you that.
Thanks for taking the time and having a conversation with us.
Of course, thanks for having me on the show.
Woo, you want to start us off?
Yes, sir. So, what is your sports background like growing up? What all sports did you play growing up?
So I grew up playing competitive soccer from the time I was about 8 years old, and I played all the way through high school. Then I unfortunately suffered a knee injury that ended my soccer career. So I just played mostly intramural sports through college, and then I came back to sports probably about a year and a half ago, playing flag football. I started with one team and transitioned to the Utah Sting, and then this is my first year playing tackle football.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. First year playing tackle and you tied with what number two in interceptions?
Yes.
Dang. What else you got, Will?
So what made you want to start playing football and gain the passion to play it?
So it did kind of start with a beer league. So in Utah, we have this league called Beehive where you can just kind of go out and just have fun with your friends. And so a lot of my sorority sisters, after we graduated to stay in touch, started playing in that league. And then just kind of through that, there was a lot of Sting girls, who's the competitive flag football side of things, encouraged me to try flag football. And so I was doing that with them for probably about 7, 8 months. And then a lot of those girls also play Falcon. So they were just kind of encouraging me to try it out. So finally I kind of caved and was like, okay, let's give it a shot and see what it's about. And so I came probably in October and just been here ever since.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
So what sports did you play growing up?
Soccer.
Soccer, and that's it.
Yeah, just soccer.
So what made you get into flag football?
Oh, just yeah, kind of the beer league and just trying to find a community. And so just it was kind of hard to
Huh.
want to go back to soccer after I had blown it out. So I blew out. So I've had 3 knee surgeries. Yeah, I'm like 26 with 3 knee surgeries, and so I blew out my
Same
ACL.
knee,
What?
same knee, or both knees?
Both knees. So I've had two on my right, one on my left. So I blew out both knees, and my surgeon was finally like, "You can walk when you're 40, or you can keep playing soccer." So I ended up giving up soccer, and so when I kind of came back into sports, it was really hard to want to go back to soccer just because I'd had such bad luck. And so everyone went to football and it was becoming a lot bigger. So I decided to give it a try.
Okay.
With the with the rapid expansion, we've asked everyone this so far. With the rapid expansion of women and ladies in football, what would you say to those women and their parents that's on the fence about having their daughters play?
Just do it, especially to those girls. So my parents are actually still on the fence. They found out
Oh, okay.
recently I played. So it was kind of an interesting story where my parents did not want me to come back to football, or not football, sports in general, just because of all the knee surgeries. And so they found out I was playing football because my dad's best friend saw my post and I was like, I thought I blocked everyone. Like I thought I blocked everyone. And so he's like, we need to go to one of her games. I was like, gosh darn it. And so my dad's finally kind of come around to it a little bit. But I think the biggest thing with football is there's a lot of turmoil that you're going to get injured and the brain stuff. And, studying psychology, I had a lot of those concerns too, that you're going to get the TBIs and the concussions. And the thing is that's a risk in any sport that you're going to play, whether you're boxing, playing soccer, probably not tennis, but like there's a risk of injury no matter what sport you're going to do. So just taking the necessary precautions and realizing that this is just a sport, just like any other sport. And also
Yeah.
that you're not playing men. That's like the other thing too, is when I came into this, my dad's just like, I don't want you to get hurt. And when he came to the game, he's like, it was kind of hard because you see football as a primarily male sport.
Hmm.
So it's kind of hard to picture women, especially when I'm 5'4" and not, a big and buff. He's just like, I don't know how you're gonna do. And I think seeing that I'm actually just playing women, not necessarily going up against a 320-pound man linebacker was,
Yeah.
was helpful for him.
So
Yeah.
I had to ask. three major knee surgeries. Do you think if you were to sustain another one that like you would stop,
No,
or is that not a question? Okay.
no, no. I love
It's her
it.
first year. She can't stop yet.
I mean, hey, listen, man. Some people with three of them, it's like, man, I don't want to go through so many.
She can
You know
have
what I'm saying?
mine.
Much to my parents just may know, they're like, please don't get another knee surgery. It's like, but if we do, I can come back, right? And they said, oh, brother. It was actually funny. My friend actually just tore her ACL. My surgeon told her to tell me not to get another knee surgery.
Wow.
Damn.
It's like, gosh darn it.
Right. This week, you guys have a rematch
Oh, yeah.
from week 2 with the Kansas City Glory. With this being your first year, how much are you taking from that game, and how much did you grow from that game to leading up to this week?
I think there was a lot of growth. I think every game, win or lose, there's a lot of growth. And Kansas City is a brilliant team. Like they're fast. They have Maria Vitale, Cassidy Snowden, who are phenomenal players. And then on top of that, they have a very strong offense. They're a very strong run team, which is something that in this league is very crucial. So there's a lot of learning of how to like to cover the flats and kind of adjust for that. Especially my first year, I didn't know how to shut a block when I played Kansas City the first time. And so like that will definitely be kind of interesting. But I think even us as Falcons, and like I think every team watches every game and they look at the mistakes that they made, which I think we have made plenty. We've made a bunch of good plays, but we've definitely made plenty of mistakes, and we have definitely kind of gone through and applied some of those corrections to be able to have it be a very competitive game. Because obviously Kansas City is going to adjust for us, we're going to adjust for them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's definitely, I think we have some fun stuff that we've kind of worked out that I'm excited to try out in the game.
Okay. You mentioned these two. Kansas City have the most explosive running back, in my opinion, in Fatali. And they also bring in Cassidy Snowden as a Wildcat quarterback sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you think you guys have a good plan to contain? I know you can't stop explosive players like they are, but do you have a sense that you guys will contain them for the most part?
I have a sense that we have some stuff up our sleeve to try and attack those
Yeah.
explosive
Okay.
players. Because just like you said, Maria's easily one of the best fullbacks, running backs in the league, if not
Yeah.
the best. Yeah, it's hard to like. I got into one foot race with her, and I said, "Never again, never again."
So that didn't go well.
No, not at all. I was like getting winded. I was getting gas. I was like the gap got bigger. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't even compete with that." But yeah, we definitely are looking to have more of a contained game and kind of watch those flats and kind of watch for those like big sweeps that she just gets those really big yards on. With Snowden, we have some things to contain that as well. I think we've kind of added into our repertoire as a defense.
Okay. How much does the offense you guys run assist you guys on defense with not having to play too many snaps? They control the tempo. How does that help you guys out on defense?
So I think it can kind of depend. So I think there's times where as a defense, if our offense is having a hard game, because I think you can't always be on it as an offense or even as a defense. It definitely kind of ramps up the defense to want to perform to kind of pick up our offense. And then there's times where if defense has like a rough drive, it's really nice to see our offense really just kind of plow through. So like we have a bunch of really great running backs like Gina Mondragon, Liv Green, Jay Vick, and then obviously we have some like household names with like Tina Tella, and just kind of seeing them kind of get after it. It's just very helpful for us to really want to lock in and make sure that we're giving them the best position to get back into scoring position, whether they kick some ass and get all the way down and get a touchdown, or if they fumble it and we want to get it back from them before they get down on the 1 yard line of us.
Yeah. I think Mount Dragon is one of the most underrated running backs in the league. She's
100%.
very good. Yeah,
She's brilliant. She's brilliant.
Let me see what other question I got. How do you stay engaged in a game as a DB when teams like Kansas City, they really don't throw that much? So how do you keep yourself locked in?
The one thing with a team like Kansas City, you have to stay locked in. So with our particular defense, you're kind of on an island out there. And you're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen, if there's going to be a sweep coming to you or not. So you're kind of always having your head on a swivel to see where the ball is and where you can kind of go assist. So just
Mhm.
kind of making sure that I'm obviously a pass defender first, making sure I have my girl contained, but then also making sure that there's not a Maria Fatali coming on a
Yeah.
sweep under where I'm supposed to be.
So as a DB, I asked Kylie this as well. The
Mhm.
ball's in the air. What's your first mindset? Make sure the receiver don't catch the ball, or go for the pick.
My first one is actually just close the gap between me and the receiver and then turn my head. And then depending on where it is,
Okay.
kind of figure out my next thing. The biggest thing is I want to be in phase because I sometimes will reach for my defender if I don't know where they are. But I think that's my first thing is making sure I know where they are and then turning and then kind of gauging. But if I had to answer the question, probably try and go for the pick.
Okay.
What made you play DB?
It was an accident.
I was playing DB accident.
So originally when I started, I was the starting wing back. I was supposed to be starting wing back when I first started playing. And I was actually living in Salt Lake City now. So now I'm actually a travel player coming from Denver because I got a job and moved. But I was originally playing where Liv Green is playing right now. And when I moved, I had to take about like a month off to move, kind of get into my job, get onboarded. And so when I came back, she had been practicing. So she had kind of taken over that starting role. Um, so I was kind of doing backup for her, just kind of, relearning a lot of the stuff that I hadn't been doing for months while she had kind of been learning the ropes. So she was kind of helping me get back into that. And they said, Bergen, we need a corner on scout. Can you go play on scout? And I said, sure. So I went and played one play on defense. And then they kept saying, like, yeah, keep scouting, keep scouting. And then first game of the season, they said, you're starting and threw me in to
Ooh.
start. So it was a little bit of an
Oh,
accident. I
scout
didn't mean
team.
to start. Yeah, I was scouting just kind of on the offhand chance. And they said, you're starting. I said, oh man, okay. let's
Oh
go back to
wow.
the drawing board. Yeah, so it was a little bit of an
Yeah.
accident.
So do you have much knowledge of the position before playing this year?
Say that again.
Did you have a lot of knowledge of playing DB before starting
No,
this year?
no.
So what have you learned?
I have definitely learned. Gosh, there's so much I've learned. I'm still definitely learning. But I think the biggest thing is I've learned how to like contain. That's been like the really big thing for me is like learning to contain. A lot of times, sometimes I'll attack the ball and like feed my players. So that's been the biggest thing. And then trusting my safeties has definitely been hard. So in flag football, I usually am like kind of dropping into a safety position rather than playing pure corner. So that's kind of been an interesting thing of like not being able to see the field and play more up and pressed. And then keeping my head on a swivel has been really tough. And then also I think some of the big things too is even learning some of the terminology. Like I'm still learning like what an outside linebacker is or what a tight end is. Like even the other day, even after playing a season, I said, so what's a tight end? And they said, Bergen, come on, man. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not. I'm like, what is a tight end? And they said, you're essentially a standing receiver on the line. I said, oh, that's great to know.
Do you watch football at all?
I do. I primarily watch college football though. I don't have an
Okay.
NFL team. I'm a really bad football player. Like, oops.
Not really. Not really. Trust me, there's a lot of NFL players that a lot of people don't know that just good at football but don't like football, don't watch football outside of when they play. There's a lot of NFL players that are like that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
So it's 3rd and 8. One
Mhm.
on one. You versus Paris. Do you get the stop?
Oh, 100%.
That's what I'm talking about.
100%.
100%.
That's what I'm
100%.
talking about. Yeah. What you got to say, Paris?
Is she in here?
listen. I pride myself on not getting stopped. No.
Tell him you would jam him.
Oh, I would 100% GM you.
Trail, you couldn't even jam me, Trail.
I wasn't playing
Uh,
DB no more. I was playing running back.
yeah,
When we
it's
was
okay.
at
I would
liquor
100%
store, you tried to jam me, you see what happened.
I don't remember.
I
I
you
know.
remember too.
Anyway. Okay, last question. What are the next steps to help the WNFC grow, in your opinion?
Mm. I think a big part of it is coming from the teams. I think sometimes there's some teams like our team's kind of getting better at trying to get more into the marketing versus there's been some teams like Texas and Kansas City and Rebellion who have just been brilliant at marketing and really kind of getting their name known. Um, the other thing is I think what kind of getting people known is trying to get them more involved in the communities and actually make it a thing because I grew up in Salt Lake my entire life. Apparently, the Utah Falcons has been around for 14 years, and I didn't know about it until,
Oh wow.
yeah, probably about 2 years ago. And that's something that's kind of a bummer where I'm just like, this is really cool. Why did I not know that we had a professional women's tackle football team in Utah? So it's just not really well known or talked about. And I think if we could really do better at expanding the marketing and getting more involved in the community and getting that like voice out and kind of really promoting girls in sports, I think that would be huge. And the other thing is I think we should definitely have a branding because I think a lot of times you hear women playing football and there's like this weird thing that you're like lesbian and butch and like buff. And I think there's still like femininity, like you can do like be it all and still be in football. And so kind of breaking some of those stereotypes like within football to really start breaking those barriers so people want to come and people want to learn more about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
we
this is sport
appreciate.
you can see. Is this a sport you can see yourself playing long term?
Yeah, I
Like
do.
playing like
Good
another
question.
4 or 5 years?
Good question.
Yeah,
Good
no, I
question.
do. I love this sport. I didn't actually think I would love this sport because I did not have hand-eye coordination at all when I joined. I mean, I played soccer. I definitely had my foot-eye coordination, but I could not catch a ball. I still cannot catch a ball to save my life half the time.
I mean, you
Um,
second in the league in picks. I'm working.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But don't put me at receiver.
Do you see yourself watching even more football now that you're actually playing in it?
Yeah, that's like the one thing that's been interesting is actually I've wanted to start watching football even more and I understand it a lot better because I actually understand what they're trying to do now versus
Mm-hmm.
before I'd be like, why do they keep running up the gut? Like I watch
Right.
really big fan of the Utah Utes and their famous plan is up the gut like probably twice and then they try and do a throw pass and I'm like, why are they doing that? That's bullshit. And now I'm like, oh, okay. I understand now. I should stop
Yeah.
yelling at poor Coach Witt.
Right. So, what is it like with the Utah fan base at your games? Are you guys getting a lot of sort of packed crowds, or how is it with the community, as you were mentioning earlier?
I think it's getting bigger. The one thing I've noticed is there's been a lot of people who've come and showed out for sure, who have made the atmosphere very different. And I think, especially when you play at home, it's a very different atmosphere for every team because you have your fans behind you. And I've just noticed the crowd growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, of course, you have the Pollies who have all their friends and family who are just like always
Yeah.
just kind of sitting there raging. Like, I think there's one girl on our team who sold single handedly like 70 tickets to her friends and family. I'm like, I can't
Wow.
compete. I was like, good for you. It's like, I can't compete. But yeah, they really get after it. They're awesome too. They cheer for both sides and they just are there for a good time. And it's a fun atmosphere with the crowd.
So you
Okay,
guys are
so
hosting
Yeah.
playoffs this week, right? Okay.
Yeah, we are. So yeah, we host it here. We play Friday, and then we play Sunday if we win. So it's us versus KC at 6, LA versus San Diego at 2 on Friday, and then whoever wins both games plays Sunday at 5, I believe.
so is your? I know you say your father is more excited to it. Is your mom gonna come to the game?
Nope.
Still not.
Okay, Greta though,
That's crazy.
I will give her a pass. She's never been into sports. Like I
Okay.
remember one time she came to one soccer game and she was told she couldn't come back because she was reading a book and they scored on us and she stood up and went, "Yeah!" And they said that was the other team, but she just was. My dad said she's not allowed to come. He's like, "You're not going to embarrass
Okay.
me again."
Okay.
That's
Okay.
funny. Well, you should expect an even bigger crowd now this weekend with
Yeah.
three other teams coming in. So
No,
it's
it's
gonna
going to
be
be
awesome.
crazy. No, it's definitely going to be interesting to see it filled out because Salt Lake's really pretty too. And the stadium, we have a new stadium this year. We used to be over at Cottonwood High School, but we're actually at Judge Memorial and it looks over the city. So you just see like the really pretty city and then it's over the sunset because uh, It's on the west side of the school, which is beautiful, but sometimes unfortunate with the sun exposure on the field. But it's a really pretty view of the city.
That's awesome. Okay, well, thank you for joining.
Yes, thanks for having
We
me.
we'll be tuned in, watching you guys play against Kansas City.
Okay,
Best of luck. Stay healthy
thank you.
and get the victory.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for having me on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah. Good luck. Good luck
You're
in the
Look,
welcome.
playoffs.
look, playoffs.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.
Sure,
Round of
man.
applause.